side, I'm a warrior. I've been to hell and back, but I ain't going back. I pledge allegiance to the reaper, he my bruh keeper. My bruh keeper, yeah, my bruh keeper. I pledge allegiance to my people, that's the main thing. The main thing, yeah, that's the main thing. Talking about loyalty, more important than royalty. And if I gotta prove it, then I kill him with my poetry. And my ammunition, Mary Jane, put the flame, let it burn, let it burn. I said burn, baby, burn. Lost in the smoke, so it's clear you can't see me being me, I'm being me. Stop playing, bring me the enemy. I crushes every move with my stats, call it politics. Stuff them in the booth without a mic and let them rot in it. I pledge allegiance to my people, that's the main thing. I'm always on attack, so what that put me on the food chain. Used to be the little man, now I shit on the middleman. Sitting back, watching the game, they cops and robbers. Time to pick a side, don't pick my side and you get clobbered. I was raised in the south, keep the dirty out your mouth. And play it, take a power, leave you dropped on the fly. So I take a big puff and I down the whole bottle.
Tonight, we're going to talk about the planets. I gave you the zodiac, I gave you the signs. Probably could have gave you a little more there. I heard I was really repetitive there, but that's cool. So the science of the planets. Now, I don't know what you know about the planets. I know a little something. So I'm gonna give you what I know and why each planet has the function it has. Because all of the functions that the planets have are actually in the symbolism of the planet sign itself, which is super interesting. You know, so if you don't know anything about symbolism, you should get on that. Maybe I'll do a video about that as well. But right now we're gonna focus on this. I'll be all over the place sometimes, it happens. All right, so first I got a little board right here. Thanks to the homie Neil. Neil, I got the board, nigga. All right. So, what we got here? We're going to start with the 3 basic signs of all the planets. 2 of them are going to be in that lineup. So, don't hate on my drawing either, my nigga. If somebody talks shit about my drawing, we gonna have a problem. Alright. So you have the sun, the moon, and the cross. Alright. Now, these are the basic functions for all the planets, all right, for the symbolism of the planets. Now, each one of these have their own meaning, right? So I'm going to try to do this as quick as possible. I'm going to try not to give you guys a whole hour, but you know me, I like to talk. All right, so we got simple, super simple, right? So you got the sun, which is the spirit. You got the moon, which is the soul. And you got the cross, which is the 4 elements, and so much more. We gonna get into that, right? So the sun, first let's deal with these 3 signs as not as the planets, as the symbol, right? And then we're going to get into the planets. All right, so check it out. The sun representing the spirit, right? Now, as you can see, how the sun's drawn, and it has that little fucking dot in the middle, which is the seed. You get what I'm saying? This is the seed of the spirit. You get what I'm saying? Which can also be in reference of the soul sitting in this pot. You get what I'm saying? But we're strictly dealing with the spirit right now, right? So if you just think about the sun in itself when it's drawn with that symbolism with the little dot in the middle. I mean, you never thought like, why the fuck is there a little dot in the middle? You know what I'm saying? It is the actual soul sitting right there in the middle with the circumference in the circumference of the circle, right? Now, the soul is your will, your willpower, your I don't want to say your everlasting. That's your soul. You get what I'm saying? But your spirit is your will, and the circle in itself represents, continuous. It never ends. It has no end. It has no beginning. It just is. You get what I'm saying? That's the spirit. And I spelled that shit wrong. I forgot my I. But look, I put my ugly I there, alright? So don't judge me. The moon. The moon is your soul. Now, reason why the half crescent is the soul and not the sun is because the half crescent of the moon is also a complete circle. The only difference between the actual drawn out complete circle and the half circle is the crescent speaks for the scene, which is the part of the crescent you can see, the half of the circle you can see, and then the other half of the circle you cannot see. It speaks for the unseen. You get what I'm saying? Because you have a soul. We all know we have souls. Well, not all of us don't have souls, so we're not going to get into that shit. But for us who do have soul, you get what I'm saying? We know that it's there. But it's something that's not tangible. You get what I'm saying? It's something you can never see. It's something you can never touch. Something you can never smell. You get what I'm saying? Something you can never taste. It's not tangible. You know what I'm saying? So the crescent represents the seen, and the unseen also represents a circle. But we give you the half of the circle so that way you can understand, if you understand symbolism, that it's tangible and untangible. You know it's there, but do you really know it's there? You get what I'm saying? So that's the crescent, right? The cross. Now this one's a tricky one, but it's really, really funny and it's really, really interesting. So you see there, I have the four elements, right? You have fire, which represents the spirit, the passion. You have earth, which represents practicality and being stable. And you have air, which represents the mind, your smarts, all that good stuff. It's late. I'm thinking too hard right now. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna just go in. And then we have water, which represents the feelings and emotions. Now, the cross can not only, it represents four, but not only can it represent four, it represents five. Let me show you why. That's five. That's you. You get what I'm saying? That are caught in between, you know, everything. So I don't know if you know the sign for Earth. That's the sign for Earth. Now that represents the four elements and the spirit. So let's rewind right quick and go back to the cross, right? Not only does it represent the four elements, if we're talking about the five, everything that you have is five. You have five limbs, you have your arms, your leg, your head. Hold up, wait, did I do that right? Yeah, you have your two legs, you have two arms, and you have your head. You got five fingers, you got five toes. What else? What else is five? Like I said, I'm thinking too hard right now, but you get where I'm going, right? So this is the material, matter. You get what I'm saying? And it has to do with the soul, just as the moon does, because this is the physical plane that we're on, and this is your soul. You get what I'm saying? The enlightenment and before you're enlightened. It's the fixed stars that I talked about in my last video. The four watchers, Gabriel, Michael, Raphael, and Uriel. A lot of L's in there, right? The Elohim, that's the gods. Another reason why, if you're really into the Bible and stuff, if you really, really study it, when they talk about the Elohim, in the Bible, if you actually pay attention, a lot of it is reference to the planets and, their characteristics and the zodiac, so all of this stuff ties in together. So let's just go ahead and get to it. Now, first, we're going to start with the sun and the moon, which I kind of just talked about that, but we're going to just go through it real quick. All right. So, that's the sun, right? Now, hey, I see me seeing me seeing me. Yeah, very nice. All right. Yeah, all right. So the sun, right? The sun represents your ego. It represents your will. It represents your outer personality, your the fundamentals of your personality outwardly. The sun is very masculine. And remember, when I say masculine and feminine, I'm not talking sexually. I'm talking energetically. So that's the sun, right? Now, the moon I draw a fucking horrible ass moon, is your feelings and your emotions. All right. It is your inner personality, which is also still a fundamental of characteristic that makes you, you know. So the moon is very feminine, very lunar. You know what I'm saying? It's I don't want to say that it is the overall being of your feelings and emotions, because there are other planets that also play a role in that, but it is the fundamental the fundamental of your feelings and emotions. It is the basic aspect of that. All right. So now we get into the fun stuff. Okay, so this is Mars, right? Now, before Mars looked like this, Mars used to look like this. But now it looks like this. Same principle, same thing. The only difference is this has this now because it better symbolizes the aggression that it has to pierce anything it comes in contact with. Now, what is happening here is this is the spirit, okay? But the spirit is being held down by the four elements. So it is safe to say that the spirit here is in the dark. Okay? It hasn't came to light. And this sign is not gonna let it come to light, because it is comfortable and appreciates being able to do things in a practical way, of being able to do things in a material way, focusing on the material plane. You get what I'm saying? And it's aggressive. It's Mars. It's a fiery sign. You get what I'm saying? It's passion and all of these stuff, using the spirit on a spiritual plane. You get what I'm saying? In the spiritual plane, but suppressing the spirit at the same time. All right. Then let's see what we have. Mars. We got that baby. This is Venus, right? So Venus is the planet of love and beauty, because the spirit is in the light, right? And it is suppressing the physical. It is suppressing the material, right? So since it is in the light and suppressing this material, it still utilizes the material. But what will you always see first? Like when you love somebody, when you care about somebody, this doesn't matter. The physical doesn't matter. The material doesn't matter. the spirit matters. You get what I'm saying? The feeling. And remember what I said about the moon, right? The seen and the unseen, which is the feminine. The complete is the masculine, right? So you have the masculine here, but you can get the feminine out of the masculine. 2 times the feminine. You get what I'm saying? Awesome, right? If you look, you shall find. Or how's it go, Neil? If you seek, you shall find. All right. I keep looking over here at this right here and looking for my planets. They're not even there. I gotta fucking. All right. What is it? The 7 inner planets. So we did the sun, the moon. I know. This one's my little buddy right here. I fuck with this guy right here. This is one of my ruling planets. So this is Mercury. So what's going on here right now with Mercury, right? We have the soul sitting on top of the spirit that is being supported by the physical and the 4 elements, right? So Mercury is Hermes. He is the god of writing, the god of the word, the god of speaking, the god of learning, right? Remember the Elohim, right? So what's going on here is the soul is able to come through to do what it needs to do. Like remember, we're all here. Everybody's here. Everybody. All right. It's just a matter of what's going on and your ruling planet or whatever sign falls in that planet. Now, the zodiac goes along with that, but I talked about the zodiac already, and I'm sorry I didn't have my board then to elaborate a little better, but I'm gonna try to put up a little chart in this video somewhere to show you the planets and to show you what planet goes with what sign, and also, hopefully I can find some names up underneath there. You get what I'm saying? Or maybe before this video goes, at the end of this video, I'll write that down for you and just show it to you for a second so you can see. But we're all here. It's a matter of what's going on. So a person with Mercury as a chart ruler or a ruling planet, reason why the education and the knowledge comes so easy to them is because the soul is guiding everything. Right after the soul is the spirit. You get what I'm saying? That's on top of the 4 elements. They're controlling the 4 elements. You get what I'm saying? So like I said, these things are not tangible. So this is, even though it is a masculine sign, you still have a lot of femininity going on in there, because if you take away this right here, what do you have? You have Venus again, right? So it's all in the symbolism. It's all in the symbolism, bro. Right? So you still have a lot of femininity going on in there. So the intuition and all of that, that's the spirit and the soul, communicating to the actual individual. Like, I feel this way, I feel that way. The only thing that fucks up all of that is where it stops, where it goes to. It goes here. And what do you put into that? You put a lot of logic and reason into it, a lot of thinking, you know what I'm saying, into it, you know, and it can make things a lot more difficult, you know, when you put a lot of thinking into shit, trying to figure out, well, well, maybe, blah, 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 just go with it. If this is what you thought it was on the first occasion, you're usually right. You know what I'm saying? Because Mercury doesn't lie. You know what I'm saying? Mercury just does what it knows how to do best. You know, it thinks, but it comes through these channels. It comes through the spirit and the soul, right? So that's what makes Mercury so awesome is Mercury can learn in a lot of different ways. It's not set on one way. All right, so let's see. We did the sun, we did the moon, we did Mars, Venus, Mercury, what am I missing here? For the fuck of it, we're gonna do Earth until I catch my composure, right? So this is Earth, this is Gaia, this is Mother Nature, right? So we are in the circumference of the circle with the four elements, and remember, we are here, right? But we're separated. We're separated from what we should be. You know, as an individual, we are torn in the duality, just by being here on Earth. You get what I'm saying? Torn between the four elements, the spirit. And remember, I told you this is also the spirit, the enlightened, the unknown. Then you have the two crescents. So, you know, no matter how you look at it, you're torn. You're separated from yourself just being here on Earth. You know, so that's why Mother Earth, Gaia, Torah, whatever you want to call her, you know what I'm saying? That's why we're so fucked up here, because we're torn and we need to find ourselves here. That is why we come here, to find ourselves, to separate, to come back together. You get what I'm saying? All right, so I don't even have a pen here to see, but what I do have. So yeah, we're going to the outer planets right now. And I kind of wrapped this up a little faster than I thought I would. All right, so now the outer planets. The outer planets are a little harder because the outer planets, going the wrong way here. The outer planets are they are the inner planets, but they are expanded. You get what I'm saying? They are a higher perception is the word that I'm looking for. A higher perception of the inner planets. You know what I'm saying? So they're pretty much the same thing, just on a bigger level, because they're farther out. You get what I'm saying? So like if you have Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, or Jupiter in your chart, for the most part, that is a generational thing. You get what I'm saying? Like if you're born this week with Mars here, and then someone else is born 3 or 4 weeks later, they're not going to have Mars in the same place. But you'll both have Jupiter in the same place. You'll both have Pluto in the same place. You'll both have Uranus in the same place. You both have Saturn in the same place. You get what I'm saying? So these are generational things. You know what I'm saying? So they're pretty much, like I said, the same, higher perception, right? All right. So, what are we gonna do first? What comes first? I would say Jupiter. Jupiter and then Saturn. Okay, so I also love Jupiter because I am a sun sign Sagittarius. So therefore, Jupiter is my planet. Now that's Jupiter. That looks kind of funny, right? But what's going on here? Huh? Now, you have the four elements, and you have the crescent going out. So, what we don't have going on right here that we had in all of the other signs was the sun. Reason why is because these are, like I said, generational, so far from the sun that these are their own light. They make their own light. These planets that we're going to do, the outer planets, right? They make their own light. So you have the four elements here, and this is on top. So it's getting light. It receives light, right? From, if you want to say the sun or whatever, it receives light. But this right here, being part of the soul, is pouring out. You get what I'm saying? Because it's on top. So that's what I mean by it's receiving light. It's on top. It's not buried. All right. So this is beneficial for the simple fact that it is up. It's giving out. It's receiving. That's why Jupiter is the planet of good luck and fortune. You get what I'm saying? Because it's pointing out. It's giving out onto the material. You get what I'm saying? It's giving. It's a giving fucking planet. And it's just lovely. It's awesome. We're just going to leave that at that. Because another time we can go a little deeper when I have more other things to put with this. We're going on 30 minutes right now. I'm moving so slow. All right. Then we have my other buddy. Now, there's kind of two ways to draw this. This is Saturn. Now, this is when I do charts and stuff, I draw it like this. I'm just so used to drawing it like this that this is how I draw it. You know, same thing. But this is, let's say, the correct way. As much as that hurts my heart to say the correct way, because I draw it like this. So, now, if you know, again, about the Bible, what is Jesus. And what does he hold? He holds the sickle, right? Now that is Saturn. Now, I don't care what nobody else say. The god of all gods right here, Saturn. Now, there are, in a sense, planets that are outside of Saturn's range, but anything inside of Saturn's range is owned by Saturn. Saturn is time. Saturn is restriction. Saturn, like I said, is we gonna do it my way when I say is my way, all right? Nothing outside of that. For the simple fact, you live in time, you die in time, all right? He governs all laws, man-made and natural made. There is no way outside of that, no way to get around that. That is why these elites worship this sign, this planet, because they want to be law. You get what I'm saying? As well as the sun worship. But remember, like, even though you have sun worshippers and the elites are sun worshippers, they're not worshiping that sun right there. Like, that sun is Christ. It is Christos, right? But this is the sun they worship. Because even that sun is under Saturn's law. Time. The only difference is we don't live long enough to see that sun, one day that sun's going to burn out. You get what I'm saying? Because that is the law of time. You live in time, you die in time. Saturn, right? So now you know why Saturn is so mean. And remember, look, the four elements are on top. The material is on top. The soul is on the bottom. It does not receive the light. You get what I'm saying? That's why this planet is seen as a detriment. This is why people are scared of this sign. That's why when astrologers read and be like, oh, you have Saturn in there, such bad luck, doesn't receive the light. I don't give a fuck. This is my homie. I understand him. I know what's going on here. And I know as long as I overcome what I need to overcome, what he's trying to teach me while he's dragging me through the fucking dirt, you get what I'm saying? I know there's a light at the end of the tunnel and I'm going to get what I want. You know what I'm saying? I just got to play his game. Simple. Still don't think I got enough time, Neil. All right. Yeah, I always complain I don't got enough time to do shit. Look at me, I'm rushing right now. I said, yeah, I'm gonna do this fast. Look at me. All right, what time is it? 3:30, 3:35. All right. What comes after that? We did Jupiter, we did Saturn, so it would be Neptune. Neptune's cool. I know some Neptarians, how do you say it? Neptarians. They're cool, but they're not that interesting. So here you have the soul being pierced by the four elements and the material. You get what I'm saying? So the soul is intertwining with this. It is not necessarily above the four elements. It is with the four elements. And sometimes the sign is drawn like this. sometimes it's drawn like this. So, the seen and the unseen, that is Neptune, but it has that soul line going through it. And the material, hold up, wait. I forgot my little, my material line. The physical, is intertwining with that. You get what I'm saying? So this is how you get the imagination because of the confusion of them being separate when they are together. You get what I'm saying? You can't separate it. It's one. It's not the soul sitting on top of the material or sitting on top of the four elements. Like the soul is infused with the four elements, infused with the material, you know. And remember what I told you. You are here, right? The seen and the unseen, right? So Neptunian, however the fuck you said, Neptunians, who cares? Don't get mad at me. I love you guys. You guys are cool. This is where the illusion comes from. This is where the thinking one thing could be this and could be that, but it's actually this, comes from. Now, don't get it twisted because they're very intuitive, hence the soul. Very intuitive. They'll tell you like, damn, I think this is gonna happen. I just feel like it's one of those days, and boom, what the fuck? I feel like it's gonna rain today. It's fucking sunny out. It's gonna fucking rain, and you should take an umbrella. It might rain. You never know. And then you don't take an umbrella, and it fucking rains. That's what that is. Okay. Who do we got next? Oh. Huh. Which can also be drawn like this. I'm not going to say there's no correct way for this right here because they both have their the same meanings, but the elites use them a little different. All right, so this is Uranus, right? Uranus is structure, organized, unique, new ideas. Reason why is because Uranus is the only planet that orbits different than everything else. For one, it spins on its side and it spins reverse to everything else, but the moon spin around the other way. It's still in sync, but that's why, it's of structure. That's why it is of uniqueness, of originality, because it's different than everything else. So what do you have here going on here? On the original, you have the two pillars. You get what I'm saying? You have Gemini there. I'm trying to figure out how to break that down. What is Gemini? Gemini is the communicators, right? It's the lovers, the duality. Now, let's just say we take away the pillars, because I probably just confused the hell out of you by saying that, right? What do we have here? We have duality. We have the lovers. we have originality, for the simple fact that these are two halves, but they're back to back, you know, protecting each other in a sense, right? And it's going out. That's why it gives new ideas, the soul, you know, the moon as a whole is not a whole, it's what the split is here. And they're back to back. You get what I'm saying? The soul represents the soul and is outwards. You get what I'm saying? And it gets light. It gives. It doesn't take. You know what I'm saying? Actually, Uranus is the only sign that is a feminine and a masculine. I was trying to figure out what the fuck do you call that? A hermaphrodite or something? I don't know. I'm not right now, but you know what I'm trying to say. No disrespect to anybody out there. I love you all. Now it gets light, right? But what is neglected from the light? The spirit, right? So that's why Aquarius are weird, right? Like they have their own way of doing things. You know what I'm saying? They kind of go against their spirituality and focus more on their practicality. You know what I'm saying? With the four elements and the soul. You know, now the soul is a very powerful thing. So this is Uranus. And we have one that is a little different than all of the rest. The one that they say is not a planet anymore. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you guys might get an hour out of me. All right, so what's going on here? What are we missing? Boom. So you have the soul cradling the spirit, holding down the four elements. Hence, the planet of death, renewal, regeneration, all in the symbolism, my friend, all in the symbolism. All right. So you got the four elements or the five, right? And it's funny because look where we're all here, right? But you got the sun right here. The birth of everything, in a sense, being cradled. All right. And like I said, death, regeneration, renewal, because this is the seed being planted in the pot. And what happens, right? We come here, Gaia, Earth, right? Get the sprout. But what happened? We're still in the pot. You know, and also Pluto is the ruler of the Neverlands because it's so far out. You get what I'm saying? So there is still room to still sprout. You get what I'm saying? To be free. So Pluto. Killing these bitches. All right. Yeah, all right. So now we're going to go to, I like this guy because that's my initial. Right. K. Now, what does the K stand for? You're going to love this. You're going to love it. You're going to love it, right? It stands for key. That's me, nigga. All right, so key. The key to what? Key to the spirit, right? Because we know that the circle is the spirit, and the K stands for key. Now, why is key for the symbol? Why am I here, right? No, it's not. That's not me though. It's the key, because Chiron is your great pain. Now, in mythology, where Chiron comes from, he was a centaur that was a philosopher, a herbalist, a healer, and he taught Hercules, he taught Achilles. He gave them their knowledge, right? Unfortunately, he got super, super sick and couldn't heal himself. I think what happened was, I think it was Hercules who accidentally shot him with an arrow that was poison, a poison that couldn't be cured. And that's where you get this Chiron. Chiron is an asteroid that is in between Saturn and Uranus, right? So in between Saturn and Uranus, and it is our great pain, but it can also be our greatest power. For the simple fact, remember, Saturn holds you down, right? Do what I say. And Uranus is organize, rebel, originality. So if you master Chiron, then you will learn to rebel at the right time, right? You learn to rebel at the right time and master your greatest pain and be able to use it to, like, say if your greatest pain is love and family and shit like that, right? That's supposed to be me right there. If you master it, you will have a lot of love to give and a lot of great advice to help people in those situations, right? Now, if you don't master it, and it usually starts out, you don't just start off mastered already. You have to go through it with Saturn, right? And be fucking stuck here dealing with this shit. Now, the thing about this, if you don't master it, is Chiron comes around every 50 years. When do you have a midlife crisis? About when you're 50, right? Okay. That's why, because Chiron came back around to put that thing on you, like, still ain't mastered this shit yet? I done went all the way around and orbited all the motherfucking planets and all the zodiac signs, and you still ain't got this shit right? Here we go again. So that's Chiron. Now I got two more things to do, and then I'm out of here. I'm gonna let you be. You know what I'm saying? I really thought, I was like, yo, I'm gonna go in there and knock this bitch out in 30 minutes. Psh, not me. All right, so this is also my buddy, because I like a challenge. Even though sometimes I verbalize, I don't want a challenge. I want it to be easy. But in my head, it's just like, psh. your north node, right? So the thing about the north node is it is what you are here to do, your uncomfortability. You get what I'm saying? Positions that you need to put yourself in to be uncomfortable, to get comfortable with it, to master it, right? That's really all your north node is. It's nothing else to it. Simple, right? You just got to find out what sign it lands in so you can see how you need to obtain that, how to do it. Like, I believe mine is in Pisces. So I need to get comfortable with others in a sense of kind of being charitable, lovable, and communication, working well with others, because sometimes I don't work well with others. To be honest, I'd rather work by myself, do shit by myself, no matter what it is. Cooking, music, I'd rather do it by myself. I don't need no help. When I do my dirt, I don't need no help by myself. So I got to get used to accepting help because I don't like it. But that's what the North Node is, right? Then you got the South Node. The South Node is the total opposite. The South Node is your past life, what you're comfortable with, you know what I'm saying? And what you've already mastered. You know what I'm saying? You see, you're going to that brick wall, and you can fall right out that bitch. In your South Node, you just fell right in that bitch and landed on the brick wall. You don't have to worry about falling out into nothing. It's just that simple. You know what I'm saying? So then again, like I said, Pisces, so I think it is Virgo and my South Node. Very practical. On my only, on my Lolo, I'm in my Dolo. So, I mean, it's that simple, right? So, that is the science of the planets with the symbolism. I could have went a little deeper with each one. Like I said, it's already been a long day, but I needed to get this done. I don't want to keep y'all waiting 20 years for me. Like, you're going to do another video. So I had to get that out the way. I think what I'm going to do next is talk about the different phases of the moon. Because, each phase of the moon, the waning moon, the waxing moon, the full moon, the quarter moon, the new moon, they all have different influences. They all have different meanings, and everybody is born on, different phases of the moon, which gives them different different abilities and powers and all this wonderful stuff. So I think that would probably be the next video. Oh, I can see. So, I mean, I hope you paid attention. I hope the board helped. Thank you, Neil, for the great advice on getting the board. I know I'm kind of slow. Bear with me. I'm just like that naturally. Due time, I get it right. Maybe I do break the topics down a little bit, but in the meantime, bear with me. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the support, and I hope you learned something. You guys have a great fucking night.
But he my blood keeper. Yeah, my blood keeper. I